odds of being that 6th and final team. However, Mirage could indeed play spoiler.
It could. And I have on my notes here, cheeky strat save from Mirage, bringing out Consulate now? Or as Jesse said, it's been going terrible, they don't play it very often, and they're just gonna all-in gamble this. Now SSG, they've played Night Haven Lab early in the stage twice. So if 2 new maps come out, and you've already shown one of them twice in professional play, odds are you've also been practicing the other one, because it's like a philosophy thing, right? Do you want to learn the new maps quickly? Yes or no? Well, if it's yes, then you learn them. If it's no, then you don't. So I do fear for Mirage if they're not super prepared for this, and I don't believe the meta has really been established in Concept either. So seeing the operator bans kind of tells a story that apparently shield operators are very strong, with both the Monty and the Clash being banned away, together with Ying and a big target ban onto Smoke. The Monty, Clash, and Smoke ban is definitely going to affect these rounds. You pretty much always have a Smoke on the board. That's not going to exist anymore. And there's no easy entry with Monty. Maybe you can substitute that with a Blitz instead. And you can't annoy the attackers with the Clash. So all of a sudden, what could have been a very slow-paced Consulate where you play behind utility and these shield operators, it's going to be more of a brawl. You're going to get out there and fight it out. And maybe we see the European style of Consulate where you play a lot of stuff like the Melusi and the Fenrir. And you just try and play around the gadgets on defense and try and force gunfights in areas near that piece of utility. I want to see Mirage do this. They start on defense, SSG on the attack. And new Consulate, very big map. Kind of like the old one, you got 3 floors, they're all impactful, ton of self-destruction, vertical play, and this primary floor we see Cancer run on right now, you'll notice a ton of walls, soft walls, places to make rotates, and also just a lot of rooms to drone. It's very difficult to effectively roam clear this map, and it's why we often see stuff like, for example, the Dokibi. Some teams might play the Jackal rather than Twitch for intel, because there's so much map to cover.
See 30 seconds on into the round. The one player who's been making a ton of waves for Space Station, Ashen, will start things off by approaching the newly remade Garage. We haven't had a lot of looks on Consulate here in the North America League. I think you and I have only actually casted it once ourselves. Really easy to trick this wall. A big change from the Consulate of old. And an impact from Spiker claims that very first thermite charge. Fultz will try again.
That's a lineup.
A missed opportunity this time. Placed a little bit more gingerly for Space Station. Allows them unimpeded access to the site. Or not directly to the site. But as close as you can get. Consulate was not put on a diet. Quite the opposite, actually.
Loading new bag.
As you noted, it's a very big map. They added an awful lot of rooms.
Yeah. Worth noting that the way that SG got that breach off, they sledged the soft layer on the exterior wall then to put the thermal charge further inside, protecting it from the explosive radius of that impact grenade. And SG are close on the side here. Yellow stairs presence, back stairs presence. Obviously got that primary breach opened up. Mirage is slowly gonna start feeling this pressure, but that opening kill hasn't happened yet. It's very important in this round.
Ashen will spring on in. EMP goes off you selfishly. Big backpack of Maestro spotted. Mirage suffering 2 losses right off the rip. J90 and Forrest credited with those kills. Now Forrest getting the diffuser down. Close to. Ultimately succeeding. You can hear that Dreadmine go off. Rampy far enough back. It's his former team that he's squaring off against. And he gets out-dueled by longtime teammate and duo of Fultz. Now it's up to Kansan in a 1v4 to try to recover. This bomb site is no longer his. It's been taken over by the interlopers of Space Station. Forrest committing a team kill as both he and Fultz swing at the same time, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Forrest got both of the kills. Just needed to spill a little bit of his own teammates' blood to get there. Space Station, get the diffuser down. And they take round number 1.
And I think already now it's very evident that SSG, I think they do happen to play a Consulate game or 2 in scrims, because they had such a good read on every single step of that round. Yeah, they got impact tricked the first time around, etc. But then they juked the second one with like like such good precision. They had the instantaneous problem solve. Sledge the wall, try it again. They get the wall opened up, and while they're getting the breach on the one side of the map, they're also doing the roam clear duty on the back side at the same time. So there are two squads working together, a team of 3 and a team of 2, progressing at the same kind of pace. When they all kind of got to that, well, we're ready now. Well, they just went for it, and nothing could really stop them. One downside of Consulate not being on a diet, as you mentioned, and there's so many rooms now, is that it's easier for you to be so far off the bomb site or so far away from a teammate that it can be difficult to trade one another. It's just typically in pro play, a lot of teams, they'll go by this rule that you should only be like one full room away from a teammate, so that if a gunfight occurs, you can make something happen around it. But typically on the constant rework, you'll find yourself 2 or 3 rooms away, or even if you're close in like proximity, there's a lot of walls between you, hard to act upon it. I do like the mirror beat brought up by Kansen. Just chunk it from Rampy, likely a substitute to the smoke ban for a certain deny that the Mirage they want in this round. And that's one of those things that happen when you see these cheeky direct target bans come out. Well, teams need to find a substitute for when those get taken away.
Gonna be heavy repel play now in the second round. As Ashen wasting no time. Get up to one of those admin windows. So the Nook of Hot and Cold shooting out another window as well. That adjoining room with all the tables in it. I think it's just called like office is the official compass call out by the bomb site. Small room that has the usually would be the breach right there.
I think it's just called office, yeah.
I think it's just called like office is the official, yeah, compass call out. I wanted to call it tables, but
there's a lot of tables on this map.
Don't ask about the tables. Okay. Anyway, nades from below. You've talked a while ago about the changes to impact nades and how they don't have that same explosive radius. You need a lot more precision, as you can see, to blow somebody up if you throw it from down below. Appears that the emphasis for Space Station is to take control of those windows. They've got the main floor largely under control. Vertical was roaming over by Spiral. Also looked like Kansan was playing those kill holes. 1 minute left on the clock, and only now does it look like Space Station are starting to feel comfortable with how they want to approach this top floor.
Team of cat and mouse between Nook and the Solis. They can, I mean, of course, Vertical can see the Nook scatter when active on the scanner, but they don't know each other's whereabouts, but they're right above and beneath one another. The nades below, the fishing from SSG has not paid off so far, but they're just waiting for those final members to get in position to then hit that execute button and hit the side itself. Oh boy. What a free kill.
And indeed it happens. Kansan was looking for one earlier on in the round and had done some damage. Hot and Cold just playing a bit too aggro with very limited support. Now, the Tachanka actually showing some value. The Shumika launcher's fire will deal some damage and rebuff SSG. Vertical's dead, but ultimately Space Station trail in terms of numbers. They want to get into this A bomb site to get the diffuser down. Question mark is going to be Spiker. He's not too far removed. Slaughtered by Fultz. Bodies dropping as Fultz goes down now too. Rampy will retake it. It's all up to him with the diffuser running away. He and J90 in a standoff for the ages. J90's got lots of viewpoints towards this diffuser. He's just waiting on the call. Rampy buying time. He's got utility, but this will be a gunfight, a shootout. Now J90 gets up, finishes off what little is left of Rampy. Space Station get the diffuser down 2 rounds in a row. They win both rounds, but this one, significantly tighter.
It's actually a very impressive execute once again. And, you know, the desk and Laxing spoke about faults and how there's some role change, etc. And kind of getting people into their positions, but Fultz in that round played such a crucial role. He wasn't the planter, he wasn't playing that utility, he actually became the entry. He threw his flashbangs in, and he aggressed towards the bomb site and held the Simon locked inside of that office room, aka tables room, if you ask Parker, and just enabled the plan to go down. It was Ashen, the young gunner, who made that happen, but J90, the final hero, to end things off for them. The post plan was great. The drones were established as well. And SSG doing a really good job playing the 1-2-3 kind of basic version of Siege. The only issue they had in that round was, well, the nuke got caught off guard early. Therefore, you're playing at 4 versus 5. But every other piece of the puzzle was ready to go. It was in the right positions. Mirage not really playing close enough together to get the trades going right now. So when they started happening for SSG, well, they lose out in numbers. We're gonna try again. Same side, just one more time.
Really enjoying these console matchups. Seeing different regions approach this map, this significantly larger map, is honestly quite good. And I mean, I'm excited to see the teams tackle it in person in Atlanta. I mean, getting to see different regions collide, this map will almost certainly be played, whether you want to approach it from the bottom floor, whether you want to approach it from the top floor. Right now, it looks like Mirage is well spread out all over the map.
Reloading, cover me.
The person who's taken any damage so far is Forest.
I see you lurking.
Trying to fight for break room control, and I like the Jackals and Forest. You're sending a big map, a lot of ground to cover. This makes life a little bit easier. Of course, you get secondary shotgun, you get smoke grenades, and they get admin control, they get break room control. Question is now, do they know Vert is once again looking for this flank? Ashen is looking for some flank, but not the right one. It's a matter of sound cue and time right now. Does Ashen hear it? He's right there, Ashen.
No. A bit of a jump scare. Ultimately, though, you get rid of the Solus. That's a hindrance that will not be present for the tail end of this round. If you attempt to get that diffuser down, a Solus playing below can be a major pain where the sun don't shine. Taking care of vertical early, that's good.
Yeah. I mean that the drone count's gonna stay more healthy now. It's still got half the drone to go. The count is still 5. The Nako's a little bit wide on the wrong side of that wall. Hot and Cold's trying to open up the floor to open up the canister of the mirror window. So then make that bomb site later on more executable. And SSG, they have this strat where like they play 4 grenades, they go below, try and find something, but they don't. The guns, they hit the marks, but they trade forward and back.
There's more gunfire going out between these teams. Hot and Cold using grenades. SSG really favoring those nades to be tossed in, dislodging the defenders, but ultimately not showing the same level of success that they've had in the past. Spiker doubling up on kills, a 2v2 with 30 seconds to go, and Hot and Cold will be boxed out of that door. The Kiba barrier going up. Instead, now SSG will rotate around and look towards B bomb site through the projector room. Down goes Ash, and it's all up to Hot and Cold. Unless he can get SSG's newest player back up. He's toiling. He can't seem to accomplish it. From yellow over towards console now. Slothy has a shotgun out, and the moment that Hot and Cold is able to take care of the Kiba barrier, another one will go. Dying moments of the round, and Hot and Cold doesn't know where to go. He vaults in. Mirage picking up those final 2 kills with Spiker getting his 3rd pick to finally get Mirage on the board. A second attempt on this upstairs bomb site works in Mirage's favor.
It does. Bit of a surprise they went back-to-back on it because it didn't look like it was gonna, go so well the first time around, but they changed a couple of small things like extending more out, stalling for more time, and it's still verting the flank on the Solus, and it, again, did not really work out. But Mirage's strong backbone, the 4 players playing near the bomb site itself, they made the magic happen near the site this time. And one big thing that they've been very good at on the defense, they're not dying to those nades downstairs from a space station. When you have 3 or 4 grenades flying up to the ceiling throughout the entire round, you would expect at least one defender to die or take a bunch of damage, but Mirage is staying upright throughout the entirety of that, not struggling whatsoever. Bomb site rotation, we're still kind of figuring it out with the audience of what teams like to do and kind of what seems to be the meta. I believe this is the least played. Last time I checked, I had to check the update again. This
10 seconds to go.
Archives and Tellers bomb site, before the current rework, was not very
5
popular.
seconds left
It's
before
very
insertion.
hard to play across, you know, the first floor and the basement floor,
Attacker's
because to hold the
objective is
first
to locate a
floor,
bomb
you
and
want top floor control, and to hold basement, you want the first floor control. So it awkwardly forces the defending team to play across all 3 stages of the map,
attacker's
which is
bomb
just
diffuser
naturally
has
very
been dropped.
difficult, of course. And the
Attackers will
attackers
cover the
just do a
diffuser.
good old top-down clear, like you typically do in a lot of maps, like Cafe, for example, for the kitchen bomb site. I do like the aesthetics here of saying, okay, what do the defense want? They want intel. Valkyrie, the Pulse, the Solace, try to use those C4s together as well and at least get a kill or something going. And plant deny. You probably cannot plant inside of Tellers. You have to get either Archives control in the basement or try and find a safe plant somehow on the upstairs side of Tellers. So it plays out very similar to before the rework, I believe.
Got a new change to Pulse, by the way, where we actually don't see what... Oh, there we go. Okay, I was very confused because we had that prolonged period of time where it was just showing that heartbeat line. It wasn't actually showing what was being visualized. Split bomb site now. So you saw, what, 2 players from Mirage down in server, it looked like?
Recharge deployed.
Yeah,
Am I count?
oh, you'd be right.
Surveying for hot.
It's called catering, apparently. That's the compass call out.
Catering.
I believe, if we go back to Vert. Well, now his picture is covering it, so we can't see the compass call out.
No, I think it is
walks
catering.
right in, down he goes. Ashen traded out by Rampy. So an early pick, but not much is accomplished. And look at how close Hot and Cold is to the bomb site. Now, he doesn't hold the diffuser, Fultz does. So even if Hot and Cold is able to get in, there's no objective that can be done. It's a goo mine, and well, he's not able to get out fast enough. Cans and pouncing upon the exposed and vulnerable Hotten. Advantage going back in favor of Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the synchronized push that we saw last time. Hot and Cold in a very front and forward position with no backup, no intel, and nothing to really act off of that. Had he stayed alive or gotten a kill there, it could be massive for the team to disrupt that defense downstairs. But now, because he died, SSG, they got a fumble around the bomb site. We saw this earlier. Can you realistically plant inside the A bomb site? Probably not. If Hot and Cold was on the staircase to disrupt while he was trying to plant, maybe you could. Oh, Force, I'm lucky I'm not you, because this is tough. Well, they hit the basement instead.
He's in the same spot that Hot and Cold was in. There was another goo mine down there. SSG ultimately just not droning out this portion of the map from electrical into server. It's really not going well, but J90 and Forest get on the board. They were exceptional in the basement all the way back in round number 1. History seems to repeat itself, even if it is a different bomb site. J90 inside of servers. Forest holding that diffuser now, waiting for the final member to get in.
5 seconds
It's
remaining.
Rampy with Forest finally in, only 2 seconds to go. But J90 is perfect in that coverage. 3-1 for Space Station.
And it comes off not a clean execute, not a synchronized push, but individual heroics, winning so many gunfights for Space Station Gaming. And the funny thing is, every single attacker in that round basically got hit by at least one goo mine. Every gunfight we saw there, down to the last 6 members alive, was with the attacker affected negatively by a goo mine, taking damage, slowing them down, and giving away their location. And still yet somehow, it's SSG getting their 3rd round. And that's very good for them. I mean, attack consulate, it's not an easy job, and it's not always the prettiest, but they get the job done.
Don't think Mirage ever really gave up that position by the stairs either. Hot and Cold wandering down, hitting the goo mine. And then a second opportunity for Space Station, as you can see right there. It was the Ash running down, getting taken out. There was a goo mine at the bottom step as well, so history would have repeated itself in that regard too. But the kill happened before. Oh, did you see the dog?
I did not see the dog.
Can we go back to vertical? Production.
Oh,
Is that another dog?
I think it's a cat.
Oh, look at the dog.
Oh, it's a dog.
Look how cute that dog looks. Can I pet that dog?
It looks so
Have you
much
seen that
like a
video?
teddy bear, you know?
There's another one.
I've
Oh,
not seen it.
that actually looks
That's
like a cat.
That is a cat, I think, yeah.
Is it a cat?
It looks very much like a cat.
Looks like
It's
a cat.
It's got white paws, yeah.
Dog?
Oh, it is a dog. Yeah. I thought it was a teddy for a second. It looks like a teddy bear dog, you know? Those breeds.
I appreciate you humoring us, production. Literally just flitting back and forth from cat, dog, dog, cat, dog, cat. Just thank you. It's the little things like that. Really makes my day.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Oh, in that previous round, Rambi sitting very far back, not getting into the action whatsoever. And going back to what the desk kind of spoke about, right? Or actually, what we know, maybe the desk said it too. Mirage need a 7-3 victory or better to guarantee top 6. Mirage need the following 6 rounds in a row to guarantee that and to get there. One more round loss for them, going in favor of SSG, and those hopes and dreams, they kind of they disappear.
Don't know if you mentioned the rest, but we got word from production that if SSG lose 7-5, they then need to beat DZ 7-2. If Space Station lose 7-4, they need to beat DZ 7-0. I think beating DZ 7-2 is doable, as unlikely as it might be. But beating DZ 7-0 is unheard of. Hot and cold with that DMR in hand. Absolutely pulverizing Slothy, but there's a follow-up as Rampy on top of yellow. Sees one drop Skylight, finished off just a floor below by Ashen, still on yellow stairs. They'd ensnared Rampy at that point. Now it's Kansan to play keep away on the main floor. Hunting drones, seeing some utility above as well. Waiting, and just governing over those stairs. He had an idea of where he needed to go. It was Fultz, and he's unable to accomplish too much.
That's tough. Seems like Vert off the Solus has paid off for Mirage though. Kansan seeming to find much more value in this particular operator. He's playing it, playing a little bit better in that role. Vert, however, very important job for him. Warden on the bomb side, can see through smokes and flashbangs. If that ends up being the case, what was a very beautiful room clear from Space Station got answered back by Mirage pretty effectively. Back down to at 3 versus 3. I would say 3 attackers alive, follow the spaceman attack, put you in a decent position. Still got enough angles to work with. If Mirage can close it down to 2, comes a lot hotter. 2v2.
Just picks back and forth, 30 seconds to go. Otten now holding the diffuser. The only kill he's had so far was the one earlier on. You cannot afford to lose Ashen this early, especially when there's a plant to be done. But there goes Hot and Cold. You might not be able to lose Ashen, but you certainly couldn't lose Hotten. Now it's Ashen to walk into Garage. Razor Bloom goes off, playing by pillar.
10 seconds to go.
Marching forward. Swung on. He loses the fight. Mirage have their revenge on the very first bomb site they went to and ultimately fell short on. Final round of the first half, and Mirage have an opportunity to tie things up.
Question is, where do you go? You got 4 bomb sites, all playable. No set mets yet on this map. You get to kind of be a trendsetter if you cook something up. Already saw that with the operator bands going the way they were. The Ying, the Smoke, the Monty, and the Clash. Not the most common operator bands happening. And Mirage, they have kind of experimenting with stuff because it did show us that Taylor's bomb site, and while strategically it was successful, they did not end up winning the round due to J9O's great efforts in the gunfights individually. So I'm curious to see as to where they want to go for their final defense and regulation and try and get that 3-3 half. Go neutral into the second round. Nobody's really in the favor. At least not clear in the favor.
Like, one thing that we've seen between both of these teams is that fights are breaking out all over the map, and I don't mean in the sense that, yeah, you have your roamers, but there hasn't really been any consistency as to where these teams are entering from, whether it be on the retakes or whether it be entering the actual map itself or Space Station. And I don't know if that's just a lack of understanding of this map up to this point. I mean, it's only been played a couple times at a top level. It's far from having a settled meta. It can take full stages for a team to, or for teams rather, to figure out what the best way to approach something is. As much as we might say that this map plays similarly to the way it did before, there's very obvious differences, especially with all these different rooms. You know, you like to say that teams will compartmentalize. Well, there's a lot of different compartments in that basement floor in particular. Now, you said where are they going to go? Mirage very much favoring the very bottom floor.
Interesting. I mean, to be fair, the way it happened last time, it looked like Mirage were going to win it out. So I like the fact that they trust in their strategy, they trust in the bomb set mythology that they have for it, and I don't think it's a bad idea whatsoever. I am curious though. Space Station's answer seems to be to go into Brava and Twitch as well as Dokkaebi. Now, if you save a Dokkaebi call for the execute, you force defenders off the cameras, but both calls by Ashen has been used for the room clear itself. That won't be the case at all. The room clear very much still on the way as Voltage takes this gunfight by himself.
Obviously unideal. Vertical and Foltz taking some damage. Now it's hot and cold, looking to assert himself. Forrest is just downstairs inside the bomb site, by the way. Space Station starting the killing, but there's an answer back from Mirage. Now Foltz getting the diffuser down. This is one thing Space Station has struggled on, is while it looks like they've had site control, they failed to do good objective play. Ultimately, numbers still dropping on both sides of the coin. Vertical, all 3 kills so far for Mirage. Forrest and Foltz for SSG. Spiker and Vertical for Mirage. Both Vert and Spiker able to clutch this one up. 4 very good players still left in the lobby. Spiker getting ever closer to the case. Looking through those rotates. Forrest far enough back. That C7 can do so much damage, but he's boxed out. Foltz reading in very well. Down goes Spiker. It's going to be Vertical to clutch win the round. No, he can't get it done. He came close to tying it up, but ultimately SSG comes out on top in those first 6 rounds. 4-2 the scoreline. They are fast approaching the point of no return for Mirage. Both of these teams again fighting for that 6th and final spot. As to who's going to get it right now, SSG very clearly the favorite, but we've got another whole half to go.
I mean, that's a classic Forest round as well. It's like, we're talking about the roam clear, what's happening top floor. All of a sudden, Forest is in the bomb site, finding kills, and then just says, guys, sprint down the staircase, drop a headshot, do not care, get to the side right now. You see right here, he gets the kill at 26. Within 7 seconds later, the rest of his teammates are basically either by the bomb site or on the way there, and the bomb goes down shortly after as well. So it seems like SSG, they have this kind of double layer attack where they have their original objective of like going top floor and get the roam, etc. And you have Forrest, the lone man doing his own thing. And if he says, guys, I got the gap, like I found it, they're so quick to just, you know, go through with that. No hesitation whatsoever. It has to be deliberate. And this has been a common staple of Forrest's gameplay. Yeah, he plays hard breach and plays like second support and all these things, but that man can turn into an entry out of nowhere. He doesn't care if he's playing Thermite, Hibana, or Ace, or anything else. If he has to go in through a door because he sees an opening, he's gonna go for it. He's always been so good at that, and when his team plays around him too, that's when he's in his prime. And it's how SSG, they managed to get that previous round, get that 4-2 side swap. Now we gotta see if Mirage can attack equally good as to SSG, or if they'll fall in the second half.
These teams are very good in the final 3 rounds of matching each other pace for pace with getting on that board first. SSG, in terms of uncontested first bloods, led the way 2-1. Final 3 rounds, it was a trade every single time. No team really did have the upper hand after the first blow was struck, though it's very rare that they would go 1 for 1. Usually Mirage would get 2 picks to Space Station's 1 or the other way around. So there is an advantage obviously gained, but it comes so quickly, just like that. As I speak, Ashen goes huge and picks up 3 from the same spot before immediately departing that position and earning accolades from the players on Mirage, who now find themselves 6 feet under.
Oh, heartbreak for Mirage. I mean, that's basically the round right there, statistically speaking at least. Downstairs bomb side. And Ashen even has to read here. He doesn't want to risk crossing the yellow door in case the Heartbreacher would be outside holding the cross, so he stands his ground. He knows there's 3 members elsewhere that can hold down the bomb site without him, and it's Spiker and Kenson against the world. The Goodman will get off the position. And yeah, Mirage, they got a lot of time to work with here. Over a full minute to go, but they don't have a lot of ways to help one another. Yeah, 6 drones are available, but no one to really actually go onto those drones.
Ace Watch still in effect. Providing Ashen can pick off the last 2 players from Mirage. A minute to go.
Oh, wait. Okay.
That was a roller, that's for certain. That grenade had heat-seeking potential, it seemed like. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, if you're a defender right now...
You can see in the bottom right-hand corner that there are indeed severe issues with the servers. And Kansan was frozen in place. I don't know if this is affecting any of the players on Space Station, but Kansan is traveling through an entirely different dimension at this point. Outside of the control of the players, but I guess you make the best of the situation that you find yourself in. That means that Spiker, with very limited HP, is in a 1v3, and Fultz finally getting Kansan and finishing him off before Ashen gets a 4K. Every person who was actively in that round killed by Ashen. Obviously, you have to feel for Kansan, as there was nowhere for him to go if he was trapped on the stairs. Again, with things being outside of his control. This was the impressive play from Kansan, or Ashen rather, to pick up 1 kill and then immediately get 2 more after that. Part of the beauty of that P90 is just how many bullets you have at your disposal, and with that fast rate of fire, if you can control the recoil, you can very easily take multiple angles. Terrible timing for that situation to befall Mirage. The Space Station, usually that will sink your season. But when you're in competition with a team that also has 4 losses, but 3 of those came in overtime, meaning they secured a single point in each of those, it doesn't really matter. And Mirage, of course, have 3 victories, 2 coming in regulation, meaning they get, you know, a ton of points of that, 6 points out of it.
Yeah.
Mirage obviously then getting 2 points from the regulation win. Both of these teams have had serious struggles, and they do trail the next team above them. Sonics and Oxygen are both tied at 12 points by more than a single victory. And even if Space Station wins here in regulation, they still won't be caught up to Sonics and Oxygen. But both of these teams have been evenly matched, just in different ways, and ways you might not expect. This matchup, the scoreline is not showing you the full story. Again, that final round that SSG just won was won in some way, shape, or form by issues outside of the control of Mirage, and you have to feel for them for that. But there's just no way to predict that.
Oh, we missed each other. Impact one off Ashen. Rampy, very late to react to it, but both players stay alive. And it's always kind of awkward to attack to, like, initially get into the building on constant, right? You want to get that initial first foothold, typically in admin where vertical is right now. But getting in can be difficult. All these long lines of sight, the soft walls opened up, you gotta drone it out as well. Fighting against the Solace. Well, there are 9 drones available from Mirage, so should they need intel, they got plenty of drones to throw at their opponent. The issue really is to just get in the building here. We see Fultz with this long angle, all the way from top spiral, with assistance from J90, just holding on to this line in the map, saying, we don't care about admin, you can take it, but meeting and Visa staircase, we absolutely want to hold in our control.
Time to tickle some time. Barrier active. Keep us set.
Catering wall opened up. I still want to call it tables.
Tables.
Don't ask about the tables. Nice nade tossed, and it also seemed to get the Goyo canister as well. But as we've seen over the last couple rounds, yet again, that early pick does not gain anything. That's a very interesting shotgun being used, but I mean, hey, the Jaeger doesn't want to run the carbine. That's fine. M870, I guess, is good enough as is. You've lost the gridlock, you've lost the Flores from Mirage. Slothy was a player that was focused on bilaxing during the desk. It's been a bit of a quiet go for Slothy so far.
Oh, Ashen. Vertical play can be a tricky one sometimes.
Just desks, tables, parts of the floor that are indestructible. You don't expect There's the problem for Mirage. Kansan's got the diffuser. He'll have to get that down. That means Spiker and Vertical will be the ones to watch over that. It's a 3v3, so you don't need to have both players on that top floor. But one of the players from Space Station, Ashen on Solus, is down below. And with only 10 seconds left, this is going to be an incredibly powerful spot. Nitro Cell goes in. Vertical dropped. Kansan trying to swing and keep it close. J90 punishing him. Hot and Cold seals the deal. After a long wait, we get back in the lobby, and Space Station grab their 6th round over Mirage.
Man, J90 is just so good. Like, so often, very consistent player as well. And whenever he gets into a gunfight, you're always thinking, this is gonna be a hard one, right? Well, not for him. He always just tends to win them every single time. And the one big issue for the attackers very much is just getting into the areas that the defenders actually care about, where the mirror windows are, where the utility is. And I did like the concept of the Jaeger shotgun playing close and meeting door. The Goyify was popped early from this very grenade we saw here in Forest. He just sprints through it and trades 1-for-1. He knows the backline is so strong. The keeper barriers, the mirror window, Hot and Cold had a C4 for plant deny. Ashen downstairs with the Solus to deny any plant possibilities. Yeah, he used the one impact grenade early with no value, inside of Visa to try and kill the admin player, Viana. But he can still 4-bang with the P90. You got 50 bullets to work with. It's all good. Intel being played very much by both teams. We saw Mirage play the Pulse, the Valkyrie, and the Solus. Now we're seeing SSG play the Yokai, or the Echo with the Yokais, the Pulse, and the Solus as well. So Intel across these 3 floors in the console.
Rampy being the Brava, which means that you can effectively hack mute jammers. You could take the Yokai out as well, but only impacts and nitro cells for SSG on their sidearm. I honestly argue that this is not the most optimal pick. I mean, hey, if the Brava's sole goal is take out the mute jammers and allow your hard breach to get into the site a little bit easier, then fine. Maybe there's value here. But we've definitely seen better lineups for a Brava, that's for sure. It's not even any secondary cams or anything like that could get hacked. I mean, yeah, you could get default cams, which oftentimes is actually overlooked. Brava's excellent at taking out a default cam in a certain part of the map and using it for flank watch without anybody having any real idea. It'll just be interesting to watch the way that Rampy goes about this.
Yeah, a lot of options. But I think you are right for defense. There's no barbed wire. There's no real operators that have any utility like Elemines or Fenrir, etc. So you can just walk up this yellow staircase. But look at that. There's a shotgun.
A big play by Ashen. Mirage watching their chances at being in the top 6 slip through their fingers, losing both Slothy and Kansan early on, and Ashen, the Echo, deciding to go for close range engagements. Time and time again, we see the value of an Echo, seeing those Yokai drones later on.
Gotta reload.
This time. It's all about that shotgun, baby. With the shotgun buff. Vert gets injured as well, so Mirage is looking real dire for them. No way in, but many ways out. But they don't want to go that way. They need these rounds, need the points, but 2v5, it's a tall ask.
Yeah, things are going to get real tough. Another from Ashen. A flawless round for Space Station. Top 6 is theirs. They do it. They topple Mirage. They don't look that excited. Surprisingly, Ashen was pumped, but as for the rest, it appears to be business as usual. A blow to Mirage. An unfortunate result for them in stage 2. An unfortunate result for them in stage 1, but it was a new team. They've got some work to be done, but there's promise on their side of the coin. Congratulations to Space Station. We're going to throw to a break. We'll come right back.